You know, some see the KCPD budget overhaul as a way to give some element of control back to the city.
But some critics are saying that wasn't necessary, and they're criticizing how it was done. 41 Action News anchor Caitlin Canute continues our team coverage tonight. She spoke with one of the Board of Police Commissioners today.
I just spoke to Nathan Garrett, and he said he was completely blindsided by the mayor's move. He said, quite frankly, he was upset and disappointed that board members weren't consulted prior to that declaration and subsequent vote. He did say at this point they are evaluating their options, which does include possibly pursuing legal action. As one of the Board of Police Commissioners, Nathan Garrett is critical of the mayor's move to take funding away from police and put that money in a separate fund controlled by the city manager.
If this isn't political pandering and political theater, I don't know what it is. Because there was no engagement, no conversation, no discussion whatsoever.
As one of the Board of Police Commissioners, Nathan Garrett is critical of the mayor's move to take funding away from police and put that money in a separate fund controlled by the city manager.
Yes, I am very concerned, and I want the men and women of the police department to know that this Board of Police Commissioners has its back. And I will tell you, we will do everything in our power to address this.
Garrett also says the quick move to push this change through the city council is one of the very reasons why a board was reinstated decades ago.
The very moment we find ourselves in right now, that's what Chapter 84 is premised on. To remove the police department from city politics.
When the Kansas City Police Department was founded in 1874, it was overseen by a board of commissioners appointed by the governor, much like we have today. That briefly changed in 1932 when it came back under city control. But
the police department would be bribed outright in exchange for protecting a lot of these forms of vice that were going on.
Corruption within the department, mostly attributed to political boss Tom Pendergast, prompted a return to state control 7 years later. And that's how it's remained for more than 80 years. As for Garrett, he says it's working. Although he's currently practicing law, he does have a law enforcement background, having served as a Missouri State Trooper and an FBI special agent. As for the other three members, they include a pastor, a retired attorney, and a private investor, all Kansas City residents. The mayor is also on the board, but is among those calling for the city to resume local control. Mayor Lucas initially sought to put the issue to a vote in November. It would have been a citywide vote that would have made the issue a legislative priority, but ultimately it didn't get on the ballot in time. We did reach out to Chief Rick Smith for an interview, and while we were unable to secure one with him today, one of his public information officers said that a blog post the chief shared a couple of years ago still stands, in which he defended the board and said, while we might be the only city in the nation with this type of board controlling the police department, it's a model he believes works. In Kansas City, Caitlin Canute, 41 Action News.